You're talking about guys, edge rushers especially, that are going to get traded, guys that are available out there, even older free agents that aren't going to cost you much on a one-year deal. Can Vic Fangio kind of break the mold and maybe sign one of these guys? And from what it looks like, he hasn't really done that yet. Could this be the year where they actually bring in an older guy? And we got to talk about a few of them, and one that has interest from three teams, and maybe why it makes sense, why it doesn't make sense. We'll talk about that. And AJ Brown, it seems like he wants his own little chant during these games when he gets first downs. And we're going to be talking about that too. So let's get into it.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
I mean, look, you're looking at a lot of edge rushers that are still available. And could Vic Fangio really change his ways and actually sign the first player that he's coached in the past, whether it's years ago or whatever? I have to give Vic Fangio a lot of credit here because he hasn't really done that. But we'll get into more of that later in this video. But realistically, you have Von Miller that's still out there. Reports been coming out from Brian Baldy that he's looking for that one-year deal with a team to get into a good situation, as the reports say that he's in good shape right now, and he feels good. And, you know, these guys in their 30s, mid-30s, they don't necessarily go through an entire training camp. They usually sign a few weeks before the regular season starts, get acclimated to, you know, what side of the ball that they're on, get coached up pretty good, and then they're ready for the first game of the season. I mean, look, Von Miller would be in a heavy rotation. I mean, he's a huge drop-off in production because he's just getting older at this point, and playing outside linebacker would be more of an edge rusher. I would probably say that Vic Fangio would most likely put him as an edge rusher if the edge really needed help, or if the Eagles are kind of getting some injury bugs at edge rusher or something like that, and the Eagles need to go out and sign somebody. There's a guy available right now that you could really hold off until the end of training camp, right before the regular season starts, to see really who's available. I know that last year, the year before that, there was some things with Von Miller with some domestic abuse or something like that. I don't know if he was charged with anything, if he was guilty, if he was innocent or anything like that. There was a lot of rumors and reports coming out on that. We know how Howie Roseman feels about players that are violent towards others, and especially women and other things like that. So if there's any type of criminal background or anything like that, I don't think Howie Roseman will even touch this. But I think the only reason why we say Vic Fangio could sign him is because he coached him in the past when he was the head coach to the Denver Broncos a while back, and knows this player really well, have had really good success together, and you say, why not? I even talked about Matthew Judon at 32 years old. That is still a free agent that is still out there right now. He had double-digit sacks with the Patriots, went to the Falcons last year, only had a few sacks, and since the Falcons obviously, you know, they drafted a couple of top edge rushers this past year and aggressively moved up and gave away a lot of draft compensation. Now Matthew Judon is out there right now, a lot younger than Von Miller, and might be a cheap price for the 1 year and wouldn't be a bad in a deep rotation either. It's almost as if I want to fill this room up with as many edge rushers as possible, because you remember, you have Joshua Uche, you have Azeez Ojulari, you have some other guys there. You want to see the next step from Nolan Smith. You want to see the next step from Jalix Hunt. You want to see what, you know, Joshua Uche is going to do. You want to see what Azeez Ojulari, if he could have a healthy year and he can look good in this offseason program, it could be a pretty good year for him. You know, Vic Fangio didn't take the easy way out. A lot of DCs and OCs that go to other teams, they usually try to trade for guys they've worked with, or try to trade for players that have been successful under their system. And Vic Fangio did none of that. He literally took the Eagles roster and said, you got some good pieces here. Let me produce those guys with a really good assistant coaching staff around. Now Vic Fangio has all this control. Now being in year two, like, every layer to this defense knows every player's strengths, weaknesses. You trade Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, probably not the type safety that he likes, and a bigger safety, gets a smaller safety in Andrew Makuba, a big hitter, and probably is going to be better in back-end coverage. So Fangio is starting to be more involved in these drafts and starting to get his own guys into the building. Because realistically, back in the day, we used to just throw Band-Aids at position. If the Eagles didn't want to spend money at that position, or they didn't want to go out and draft that position early when they were allergic to drafting a linebacker, they were allergic to drafting a top safety. Now they're putting a lot of compensation into those positions. I mean, look, we talked about Justin Simmons a million times. Like, he's still floating out there. He wants to play for the Eagles, but he's still available. God forbid you have injuries at safety in training camp or something like that. he is still out there. I think if I was in Vic Fangio's shoes, I think he's going to sit tight. He's going to see how things do play out. Obviously, I'm not going to waste any time on the TJ Watt rumors. There's obviously some trade rumors coming out, nothing official yet, but I mean, the Eagles are definitely not touching that. Safety still needs to be figured out. Corner 2 needs to be figured out. Obviously, right guard needs to be figured out. So there's a lot of things you just need to get patience for. Don't hit the panic button. Go grab somebody and just put them there just because. Unless you have a lot of injuries at one position in training camp and there's a bug going around and you don't have enough bodies at that position, then you would go out and get a veteran guy if you really have to, because you're not trading for anybody younger. You're not giving away big draft compensation for somebody. You're getting somebody on a 1-year deal, fully guaranteed, blah, blah, blah. You sign the guy and that's it. So like I said, there is a lot of options out there, but the guys you're going to be getting right now are in their 30s, in their mid-30s, and these are just 1-year deals, and we'll see what happens. Now, it looks like we heard some things from A.J. Brown a few days ago at X, where he kind of went on social media and was like, you know, we need a chant. I need like my own type of chant going into these games, like Coop does, like some of these other guys have. And A.J. Brown doesn't have one. Now, we know his slogan is always open, so he actually went on social media and was like, how about we say Ayo or something like that, as to always open, which is pretty cool. So I think that he's just trying to get the Eagle fans involved to have his own type of chant. So every first down catch that he has, I think that would rock the link like pretty crazy. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. I want to see if fans are starting to follow it, or maybe he'll change it. We'll see what happens. We'll probably find out in the open practice in early August, but that's going to be the case. So he went on social media and kind of wanted his own thing, you know, and I think that would be really cool. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day. Make sure you like the video because it helps out tremendously. I will be covering all of training camp every single day. We'll have a stream this week as well. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Remember, Chicks, what up, follow side. Peace out, guys. Peace.